Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. From San Diego, California, the 28th playing of the Holiday Bowl game matching the Oregon Ducks of the Pac-10 and the Oklahoma Sooners of the Big 12. And we hope your holiday season's been going along well for you. As you know, when we come to this time of the bowl season, the larder gets a little bigger. That means more money to be paid out. And the man standing next to me is Dan Fouts. He is an alumnus of the University of Oregon, but he's fair.
Oh, yeah, real fair. And I really appreciate you showing highlights of me running the ball, Keith.
Well, it was too good to pass up.
Rare,
let's start with strength against strength and talking about these two teams. Oklahoma has Adrian Peterson, the great running back, in good shape. Here comes Haloti Ngata, and one of the best Oregon defenses I've seen in recent years.
Well, for Oklahoma, they want to run the ball, and who better to run the ball with than Adrian Peterson? He's finally over his sore right ankle. He's as close to 100% healthy as he's been all season. And last year against Oregon, he rushed for 183 yards. Nobody in college football runs harder than Peterson. Nobody hits the hole faster, and nobody is more important to the success of the Sooners than Adrian Peterson. And for Oregon, strength means Haloti Ngata. This giant of a man anchors the Ducks' defensive line. He was named the team's MVP this season. His penetration will be key to the Ducks' success in stopping the great Adrian Peterson.
A different kind of a look from the Oregon football team, the spread offense against the speed of the Oklahoma defense.
Well, the Oregon Ducks will use that spread offense with two quarterbacks, Dennis Dixon and Brady Leaf. They'll throw the ball and hand it to a bunch of speedy wide receivers and running backs who can really fly. As for the Sooners, they will counter with the fastest set of linebackers in the nation. They're led by number 42, Rufus Alexander. He's all over the place, and he cares little for what type of offense or the type of players he's facing. As long as there's a football on the field, he's going to find it and make bad things happen when he does.
We couldn't have better weather or better temperature to play a college football game, and this is one of the good ones in this postseason play. And the Oklahoma Sooners kick it away. Garrett Hartley knocks it down the field, and it is picked up by Jeremiah Johnson. And Jeremiah runs into trouble inside the 15-yard line. He never really got it going, and the Sooners came in a hurry. Here is your starting lineup along the front for the Oregon Ducks. These people started the last 9 games, and the spread formation apparently has given them better help. The receivers, dandies here. Wide out, Demetrius Williams, 55 catches. He leads the corps. And the backs, the quarterbacks to start, Dennis Dixon, who shared time with Brady Leaf since the season-ending injury to Kellen Clemens. Terrence Whitehead is one of the top running backs in the country and has become a very good receiver, and you'll see him a lot, I suspect, in the screen pass play tonight. They send Whitehead in motion. Good receiver. Dixon back there by himself, looking to throw. Pressure coming. And he runs the pressure. He's very quick, and he gets up across the 25 to about the 28. DJ Wolf tracked him down.
Great pressure again from the Sooners. It's there right in on Dixon very quickly. But check out this speed of number 10. Ayodele had him. So did C.J. Ayu. He turns the corner and picks up about 3 yards. But at 195 pounds, Dennis Dixon is not going to survive running the ball and getting tackled by the Sooner defense.
It is 2nd down and 7 now, and the Sooners go to 5 defensive backs as Dixon throws hard, and it's low and at the feet of the intended receiver, Cameron Colvin.
Now, what I think what happened that time for Dixon, he saw tight coverage by DJ Wolf on Colvin and decided to throw the ball on the ground and not risk an early turnover. Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator, came over from BYU, and he's not afraid to be an aggressive play caller. He told me earlier last week he wants to score a lot of points. He's going to pull out everything in his playbook tonight.
He may have to, because Oklahoma's sitting there with that big hammer, Adrian Peterson, healthy, and Dixon turns and calls a timeout. So we've got no score here in the first quarter of play with 12:10 remaining. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for Oregon when we come back. Here we go now on 3rd down and 7. You've got 3 down linemen. You got 3 linebackers. You got 5 defensive backs for Oklahoma. And the Ducks really spread them out for this one. Here comes the pressure. The pass is away in a hurry, and it is incomplete. And Dixon unloaded it because he had Zach Latimer right in his face. They're all big people in this group. They snap it, and on 4th down and 2, it goes to Matt Dragic, who finds plenty of running room and crosses midfield and picks up a 1st down for Oregon.
Perfect execution of the fake punt by Oregon as Oklahoma is looking to load up on that shield. They invited them inside, and then behind those big guys in the shield leading the blocks. Watch Alan Patrick here, number 23, come inside, and now you've got Nata leading the blocking on the outside along with Andrew Murphy, and Dragic picks up this 1st down easily. 20 yards on the play. Keith?
Goes for 20 quickly, and it's on the 47-yard line of Oklahoma. And so they take a chance. It pays off.
You wonder if they would have gone for the fake if they had not been offsides on the previous play by Baker.
It is Garen Strong throwing. Started around Dixon going down the field, and Dixon was trying to hunt down the pass. And the quarterback with great speed turns into wide receiver, but they can't hook it up.
Why not run a trick play after a trick play? The defense is not going to expect it, but the penetration here, pretty good throw here by Garen Strong, the lefty. I'm not sure that Dixon realized where he was on the field. He might have thought he was too far to the sidelines. He might have been able to take another step and haul that one in.
Close. He got both hands on it, but couldn't reel it in. Now he goes back into the quarterback position out of the spread formation. Ball goes to him, throws it sideways. That's a forward pass. Ball goes to James Finley, and Finley will move the ball to about the 43.
Well, this is what Croton was talking about, though, Keith, being an aggressive play caller. You got nothing to lose. You're in your bowl game. You want to go 11-1, sure, but Mike Bellotti, a former offensive coordinator of himself, there's Croton in the box. The big thing here is now they're sending a message to Oklahoma that, hey, we're willing to try anything. You better just cool your jets and play a little bit more zone in all this blitzing.
All the blitzing invites option action too from these Oregon Ducks, and they can run it well out of this formation. This ball ended to Terrence Whitehead. Whitehead slashes into the middle, and he's very close to the 1st down. He's down around the 37-yard line.
Tackle made by number 42, Rufus Alexander. And number 25, DJ Bull.
Kind of interesting, the comment that it looks like he's probably going to be a little short, but the offensive line's health has been so good this season because they, using the spread formation, avoid so many of those big pileups and people running up on the back leg or the back of the leg of linemen.
Yeah, and they're all young too, Keith. Only one junior on that starting line.
4th down and a half a yard. They're going to run for it, and they won't get it. They won't get it. It was Zach Latimer, the middle linebacker, who put the hit on the big back for Oregon, Jonathan Stewart. Stewart is a freshman at 228 pounds, and Latimer put him on his back.
But Latimer paid for it. You can see him holding his left arm and left shoulder. Stewart's a big guy. Great tackle by Zach Latimer.
And we've got a timeout. All right, Oklahoma's first time on offense now as Rhett Bomar steps back and throws on the first play of the ball game. Joaquin Iglesias, one of the 2 freshman wide receivers starting, and he's got a big play out of it all the way inside the 40. Left side guys and the front for Oklahoma, over 300 pounds. Messner is the junior. The others are seniors. They'll have their hands full all night against the Oregon defensive front. Malcolm Kelly is the other end. He is the other freshman. Iglesias just made that play. Rhett Bomar beat like a drum as a redshirt freshman in the first half of the season, but he's a big, tough guy, weathered the storm, and has played very well for the last 6 games. Ball thrown again to Iglesias, and Iglesias is down inside the 30-yard line and short of a first down. Back here in San Diego, it's going to be a first down run by Adrian Peterson, brought down by Blair Phillips. Peterson's first carry of the ball game, but it's early, folks.
Chuck Wilson, the new offensive coordinator for the Sooners, told me they want to get Adrian rolling early and often out of that I formation. He is so quick to hit the holes that he's at full speed when he gets that line of scrimmage. It's important for him to be deep in that I formation.
It is first down for the Sooners on the Oregon 25-yard line, staying in the shotgun. Bomar back, looks, throws, pass complete. Adrian Peterson making the catch after he slipped out into the open, and he will go inside the 20 down to about the 17. The Oregon defensive front, Alote Nata, 6'5", 340, first consensus All-American at Oregon since Mel Renfro in 1962. And the linebacker strong safety Anthony Truck leads the team in tackles with 85. The defensive backs, well, you no longer throw it at these guys. You better know what you're doing, because they had 22 interceptions during this past season. Ball goes to the center, and looking for the opening is Adrian Peterson. He doesn't quite get the first down, 2 yards short. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, Adrian Peterson is as healthy as he has been in weeks. The coaching staff told me that he didn't miss one single bowl practice. In fact, the 2 weeks leading up to bowl practices, he was there every single day. They said it's amazing what a fresh Adrian Peterson brings to this offense, and you're already seeing sparks of that, not just in the running game, but in the receiving game as well.
All right, thank you. It's their 3 for 3 for Bomar so far in the ball game. Now he moves the tight end, and Paul Thompson over, comes to this side. He's the former quarterback. Bomar stands, plenty of protection, end zone, ball dropped. Joe John Finley, who is in there as a tight end, 6'6", 244, a sophomore. He's defended by Aaron Gibson. The story here is Gibson is only 5'9".
And Gibson came from the other side of the field. Ball hangs up in the air too long. That's how wide open at first Joe John Finley was. You talk about perfect timing by Aaron Gibson. That was it right there. Saved a touchdown.
Now they'll try for 3. On the field for the field goal try, Garrett Hartley, 34 yards. The holder is ball's up, and the kick is good. And so the Oklahoma Sooners go to the lead by a score of 3-0 here in the first quarter. We've got 8:04 to play. And once again, welcome back to San Diego for the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Stadium sellout. All the tickets were going as of last Tuesday, I think it was.
Back to receive for the Ducks, number 20, Jeremiah.
Garrett Hartley will kick it off for the Oklahoma Sooners. They go on top with a 34-yard field goal. And the Oregon Ducks wearing rather subdued uniforms tonight. Plain white shirts, pretty much plain black breeches. High hanging kick. It goes to the 2-yard line to Jonathan Stewart. And Jonathan Stewart hammers his way across the 20 and out to the 21. Zach Latimer is back on the field at the linebacking position for Oklahoma as Oregon comes up first down on their own 22-yard line. Dixon turns and gives the ball to Terrence Whitehead, and Whitehead keeps on pounding. Back goes Dixon to throw. Throws the ball sharply, and it's on the hands of the receiver, Garen Strong, but he can't come up with it. Rufus Alexander was defending.
Oh, we told you he's a sideline-to-sideline player. Number 42 is Alexander, playing the pass perfectly that time. Did not go for the inside fake by Strong. That's a drop pass by Garen Strong. Kind of had his hands turned backwards on that pass from Dennis Dixon.
Third down and 1.5 yards. They go for the first down, and they get it with Whitehead moving across the 35-yard line. On 1st and 10 for the Ducks from the 35. Dixon takes off. He's got 8 yards. Zach Latimer took his legs away from him, but he's a long strider.
Yeah, the game plan for Oklahoma tonight on offense, they're going to load that schooner wagon with a lot of Adrian Peterson. Want to get him 30 touches on the ball. And then on defense, hey, Rufus, raise a ruckus, will you? He's already done that here in the first quarter.
2nd down and 2 from the 43.
Call it 2nd down 2 for the Ducks. They trail Oklahoma on a 34-yard field goal, 3-0. Dixon looking, lets it go to the sidelines. Pass caught. Brian Paysinger, sophomore out of Long Beach, California, went up and pulled it down. Dixon's got some mustard on that pass, I'll tell you.
And great touch as he had to get it over the linebacker, Clint Ingram, and drop it down to his receiver. Watch this ball go over number 44 right there, who is in great position by 1 inch. And Paysinger brings it down and gets out of bounds. What a throw by Dixon.
Tight rotation helps, doesn't it?
Oh, no question.
Dixon gives the ball to Whitehead, found a hole, and one man keeps him from getting across the goal line. Calvin Thibodeau stayed at home and was there to make the tackle.
Yeah, heck of a tackle by Thibodeau, because that was a huge hole on a counter play. Oregon gave the look of power behind Tim Day on the right side, and Whitehead cut it back and picked up a big gain here. But check out, exactly right. Did you see how Thibodeau was also looking for Dixon to take the ball on the bootleg? He stayed at home, made the tackle.
It'll be 2nd down, call it 3. Dixon's pass down the middle, pass complete to the tight end, Big Tim Day, and Day's inside the 10, 1st and goal, Oregon. The Ducks are marching.
Yeah, this is an impressive drive for Oregon after getting stopped on 4th and short by the Oklahoma defense and then giving up a field goal. But Dixon certainly has settled down. This offensive line giving him time to throw. Not much pressure from the Sooners on that play. Oregon has not done a good job scoring once in this area of the field.
Dixon shopping, takes off. Gets down to the 6, maybe the 5. And that was Rufus Alexander making another tackle for Oklahoma.
Part of the reason that they have struggled, Keith, is because of this spread offense. It's brand new to them. Earlier in the year, they had all kinds of trouble just running the ball, period. But it's an evolving type of offense. And when you change quarterbacks, as the Ducks have had to do with Clemens' injury, I thought that was a good play by Dixon, not throwing the ball, not risking an interception down here.
Collective blocking, though, is difficult to achieve when you're running a spread offense. You can't get that real power stuff. Goes the other way with it to Demetrius Williams, touchdown.
There's your running game. Great deception by Oregon. Gave the look of the option play to the wide side of the field, came back and pitched it at the last second to Williams on the end around. Perfectly executed, and check out the blocking. Out in front, number 75, Jeff Schwartz, all 350 pounds of him, clears the way for Williams' score.
Oh, he just rode him out of town, didn't he?
Yeah.
Martinez for the point. Good. 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Oregon goes to the lead 7-3 on a drive that started at the 22. We're in San Diego with the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl game. 2nd down and 10. Ball dropped. Just plain dropped by J.D. Ronalds. J.D. doesn't get to see that ball very much. He's a blocking fullback. He had trying to set up a screen for him, and he didn't handle it. Here's Todd.
Keith, this could be a big loss for the Oregon Ducks. Number 45, Matt Tuney, the junior on the defensive line, is going in complaining of an injury to his left collarbone. Kevin Stile, the trainer, was looking at it, just can't get in there big enough because they've got the jersey so tight on there. They're going to have to take him in, take everything off. So Matt Tuney into the locker for the time being.
Well, that would be a huge loss because he plays alongside Nata. And the ball down the middle, almost completed, almost intercepted. J.D. Nelson almost picked it, but again, he doesn't step into the throw. And Joe John Finley was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and overthrowing a guy 6'6", you'll see this ball sail over the hands of number 85, working against Aaron Gibson. But it's Bomar's throwing motion, basically, just does not step into the throw, and the ball will sail almost every time when you're trying to throw a hard one.
Cody Freeby's in the punt, first time tonight, 32 yards. That's only his second punt. Justin Fennessy is waiting for it. Oh, he got this one. Runs Justin all the way back, takes a bounce, rolling around, and did he get to the chalk? Apparently not. Look at this. They marked it at the 1. Poteet was down to keep it out of the end zone. But that first bounce was key. It went straight sideways softly. Poteet knocked it back, and it's Oregon's ball at the 1.
Dennis Dixon at quarterback for Oregon.
Dixon standing in his end zone to take the snap. He's going to throw it. And complete it to Rosario. Dante Rosario, who does a lot of things for the Oregon football team. Now they get the chains up the sidelines to about the 15-yard line where they've got some daylight.
Number 44 is Rosario, working with a dual tight end formation that time. Day took the short route. Rosario with good size, 6'4", about 250. It was a big part of the offense last year, but it's changed. But he contributed on that play.
Oregon leading in the ball game 7-0. 6 minutes to go the first half. And Dixon flips it outside on an option play. And there's a pickup of about 3 yards by Garen Strong. This is Whitehead breaking 2 tackles and takes it across the 30-yard line for another first down. That's a heck of a tough run by Terrence Whitehead.
Now that's the thing about Terrence Whitehead. He gained 1,000 yards rushing last year. This year just about 600, but so many times he makes the first guy miss. This time he makes 2 miss, including Zach Latimer. You wonder about Latimer's shoulder though, because he had Whitehead in the hole that time but couldn't wrap him up.
Right, sir. Thank you. Second down, 7. Inside it goes to Whitehead on that little shovel pass. But the Sooners played it well, and Reggie Smith coming up in a hurry with help from Latimer again. Latimer's all over the place tonight.
You know, that looks like a very dangerous play, but in reality, it's a pass play. So if the receiver, or the running back in this case, doesn't catch the ball, it's just an incompletion. It shows you the versatility of this offense. It's a lot like what the Utah Utes ran last year with Urban Meyer.
Third down, long 3. Dennis Dixon reorganizing things before the snap. He keeps it himself, and boy, they ate him up. Right about the line of scrimmage. It's Latimer one more time with Dvorak getting a piece of the action.
That's about as well as you can play the option play with Dvorak. Great penetration there. Help from Latimer. Dixon had no chance to pitch the ball, and even if he had, there was somebody for the pitch man on the outside. Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, congratulating Latimer as he goes off.
Well, they try to use that option in order to take away the sting of the rush of the Sooner defense, and that time it just blew up in their face. So it's 4th down. Dragic has gone 50 and 56 in his last 2 punts. He didn't get all of this one. Kind of hooked it to the sidelines, and it bounced straight out of bounds, and that'll be pretty short. We welcome you back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Game being played in San Diego between Oregon and Oklahoma. And this was the closing of the halftime show. It was a good one, but I'll tell you what. We mentioned shootout at the start of the telecast. That's it.
A lot of fireworks, not offensive fireworks in this ballgame in that first half. In fact, 7-3 is the fewest points each team has scored all season long in the first half.
I think that's got something to do with that enormous amount of time that they were off, don't you?
Well, normally the offenses benefit from the time off because defenses don't get to practice tackling. But the tackling in that first half by both teams is just outstanding.
Yeah, it was good. The offense was the one that was missing the clicks.
And the big question, though, will be for Oklahoma, what about Rhett Bomar? Will he be able to go in this second half?
And what about Oregon? Todd Harris caught up with Mike Bellotti. The coach said this.
Coach, 7-3 at halftime, not a typical Oregon high-powered offense. What do you do to get your offense in track?
Well, they're doing a nice job on defense. I think we can be more aggressive. We just have to continue to make sure we keep possession of the football. I'm pleased with the way our defense is playing. We're stopping the run. We just have to be careful to play action pass. And, we have to just continue to be aggressive offensively.
You've got 2 looks at your quarterbacks. Which one has impressed you thus far with a hotter hand?
Well, we're going to stay with the rotation system right now. I think Dennis has been the more effective quarterback so far. But I think this is Brady's turn coming out. We'll give him a series this half, and then we'll decide.
Matt Evanson will kick it away for Oregon. And again, I'm struck by the fact that the wardrobe for the Ducks in this ball game has been rather basic. The kick goes into the corner to Alan Patrick. Found a crack and almost went home. I mean, he was a step away from see you later. Rosario brought him down. Yeah, I thought he'd have more touches in the first half than he did. Well, he's got it right here, and he runs right into the middle of that big Oregon defense, and that's a hard place to pick up much yardage. After that false start, the ball now is at the 31-yard line.
Now, statistically, we take a look at what has gone on in the first half. Oregon with the edge in total offense. Again, no rushing yards at all for Oklahoma. That's just not Sooner football. Time of possession favors the Ducks, as does the 7-3 scoreboard.
And he gives it to Peterson, and Peterson's hit behind the line of scrimmage, and Mr. Peterson meet Mr. Nata. That is a tree that moves. It is 3rd down and 8 for the Sooners after possessing the ball at their 47 and losing a touchdown. Bomar throws, just flipped the ball over to Iglesias. He picks it up, and he's really trucking it down the sidelines, breaking 2 tackles to get down near the 15-yard line.
Well, Chris Messner didn't get a touchdown on that long play, that fumble after Peterson, but watch him block Devin Long here on this play. He rides Long behind the quarterback. Fantastic throw on the run by Bomar, and then the freshman Iglesias with his 5th catch of the night. The 3 freshman receivers have 10 catches among them. That one went for 34 for number 9.
The ball is at the 16. Out of the shotgun, Bomar looking to the corner. Touchdown. J.D. Reynolds.
Great pass protection for Bomar. In fact, this offensive line's done a great job tonight, not giving up any sacks. And only 3 in the last 4.5 games. As Bomar's able to step up in the pocket, find Reynolds on the wheel route against the linebacker. Messner with another good job on Long, and a perfect strike as Reynolds catches his 5th career touchdown pass.
The extra point try by Hartley. Good. And the Oklahoma Sooners have their first lead since they led 3-0. They now go on top in the third quarter with 9:20 to play by a score of 10-7. Balboa Park. How many happy days have been had there? Home to obviously the world famous San Diego Zoo, one of the greatest in the world, and some of the city's finest museums are now located in Balboa Park. As J.D. Ronalds, he is so happy. He's headed for a career in broadcasting, he hopes. Already got plans to go to work in the radio, which I highly applaud. It's a good place to start. From the 18-yard line, it's Jonathan Stewart, the big freshman running back. Ball is right on the 30-yard line now, 3rd down and 19. Dixon gets it away, and it's not complete. Garen Strong had it, and he lost it as he went down.
Well, the problem for Oregon is that they're getting beat up front by this pass pressure of Oklahoma. This is how Oklahoma started the game, knocking Dixon down, not giving him time to find his outlet receivers. And Thibodeau and Dvorak's got to get a lot of credit for causing a lot of those bad snaps from Anoka Lucas, because he's right on Lucas's nose.
Well, the Oregon O-line needs to hunker down. It's up to them to stop it.
Yep.
Sooners look like they want to come, but they don't. Kicks away. It's a low kick by Dragic, bounding around and bounding down the field, and it turns out to be a pretty good kick. Goes out of bounds at about the 26-yard line with 7:34 to play in the third quarter, and Oklahoma leading 10-7.
It's 144 yards.
Oklahoma has the lead over Oregon 10-7. Third quarter, 7:34 to go in the third period. We're at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California for the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Be sore tomorrow. He's stopped at the line of scrimmage, now retreating deep, looking for some help. Here come the tacklers. He finds the crease, almost broke it, and left town with it. Patrick Chung finally tracked him down and made the tackle.
Tackle made by Patrick Chung.
Now Peterson is making it exciting for Sooner fans. Total ad lib here on the draw play, goes into the hole and then goes backwards. 10. About 15 yards he retreats, and as you said, Keith, right here, if Chung doesn't make this tackle, he might have gone all the way.
And he comes out. Jones is back in. It is 3rd down and 8. Bomar with a lot of time. Now gets some heat, takes a wallop, and he's down on the field. He took a wallop from Toena, but he gets up, and the pass thrown up the field with good accuracy to Manuel Johnson, and it's good for a 1st down.
Let's take a look at that big hit by Matt Toena. Number 45 is going to come right here, and he's just going to flatten Bomar. Look at that catch on the outside. It's Manuel Johnson with another big catch.
That's a freshman from Gilmer, Texas. And Peterson comes back onto the field and goes in as the deep back. And Toena is out of the lineup for the moment. He ran into one of his own men, but keeps his feet and gets to the outside, and now you may get a face mask here. Look, I guess not. Justin Fennessy, but the hook grabbed him around the head, got the shoulder pad, I guess, and took him down. But that'll be a 1st down.
You can see just how determined Adrian Peterson is to try to break a long one here. Great balance there. Fennessy will come over and got him around the shoulder pad underneath the face mask, Keith.
Yep.
Watch his left hand go right under the face mask, legal tackle, and bring Peterson down. Boy, you talk about strength. That's one strong defensive back.
Well, there's always the BCS. They can figure that out.
You bet.
2nd down and 10. Ball is handed into the belly of Peterson, and he's on a tear right now. He's ripping apart.
Well, I guess he answered the question about his forehead. His willingness to take on tacklers with his forehead cut wide open just moments ago. Check out this play by number 28. Watch the head go down. Chung right there. J.D. Nelson. Big first down for the Sooners. And the blood seeps through the bandage now.
Well, the adrenaline is really, really flowing. The ball is laying on the 19-yard line, where it is 2nd down and 6. And Kewan Jones is back in at the running back spot. Peterson is still on the sidelines, and Jones gets it, cuts it, gets a daylight, goes inside the 10. First down and goal for Oklahoma at the 8-yard line of Oregon.
Well, this is Sooner football. What they did in the first half was not. They majored in the pass in the first half, had very little yardage on the ground, but right now it's strictly on the ground. Kewan Jones and Adrian Peterson behind that big offensive line.
Davin Joseph was the man that had that big block to get him down there. It's Jones. It's touchdown. Chris Chester let him in.
It's almost as if the Oklahoma offensive line was mad that Chris Messner's touchdown was taken away from one of their brothers. Because they have just dominated that offensive line. Chester with a huge block there as Kewan Jones went in virtually untouched.
Hartley for the point. The hole by McEachern. Good.
Led by Adrian Peterson's determination and willingness to lower his head to take on tacklers, the Sooner wagon is rolling right now. Kewan Jones from 8 yards out, and the Sooners extend their lead to 10. Bellotti enjoys being at Oregon. He's been there a long time and has had success and is really having it this year, although tonight it's just been a disaster here in the third quarter.
Well, the Sooners came out hard and fast, and even though they didn't do anything in their first possession, they set the tone with their defense, and from then on they have dominated this third quarter and scored to take a 10-point lead. 2 touchdowns. This is Dixon having all kinds of trouble. And again, they're just running over the Oregon offensive line. C.J. Ayu with that sack.
Watch Terrence Whitehead. He comes up trying to pick up Clint Ingram, and Clint Ingram just deposits him straight backwards. And then there's just too many red shirts all on their feet, all scrambling, all fighting, trying to get number 10 on the ground, and they finally do. C.J. Ayu and Ingram take him down.
And so the Ducks will punt again. Dragic in for his 6th punt of the night. He's done very well. He's had one short one of 30. He'll hit it about the 4-yard line. Low kick, got some room for the return. It's Juan Rankins. Juwan breaking to the outside. Ran right by number 91, but there's a penalty flag thrown back at the 43. Look out for the push in the back. Downtown San Diego, and I was really struck at what they've done in this city. It's beautiful. And there's still some work to do, I guess, what they have in their plans down the way, but that's a look at it from the Coronado Island. But it's really pretty.
Yeah.
You got the train running right through town. I love it. Jones is in there. Peterson out for a little more rest, and Bomar keeps the ball, rolls out, throws on the run, pass complete to Kelly. Kelly is brought down by Finney, but it's going to be very close to another first down.
Well,
it is a first down.
I don't know if Bob Stoops is a faith healer or not. We've got a Haloti Natas down on the field for Oregon. Like he got his knee rolled up on, but Bomar with a bad right hand continues to throw strikes.
Officials timeout. Injured player.
They really feel that Malcolm Kelly's going to be a star for the Sooners at 6'4", 204, just a freshman. Good speed, good hands.
Big, interesting young man. Adrian Peterson is back in there. He's got the ball coming this way. He runs over one tackler and goes out of bounds at about the 3. Maybe they're going to put him at the 5.
He just has too much speed to get around the corner, and then too much power when he confronts a tackler. Look at the speed to get around the corner here. Now he's going to lower his shoulder, run over a defensive back, Finney, then try to stretch and get in the corner of the end zone.
Davin Joseph was the man that helped him turn the corner, though. He kept the road open for him. And it's 1st and goal, Oklahoma at the Oregon 5. Peterson's in there as the deep back gets the ball and goes to the 2 before Devin Long brings him down.
Yeah, people forget because he had that ankle injury for most of the year. But Adrian Peterson would finish 2nd in the Heisman voting 2 Heisman votings ago when he lost out to Matt Leinart. But you can certainly put him in the favorite category for next season, especially the way he finished the season and the way he's playing in this second half tonight.
Well, Bob Stoops told me yesterday that he was not entirely healed yet from that ankle. It was apparently a severe sprain.
Well, according to Stoops, nobody's hurt.
No, that was during the quiet of lunch. Ball is handed to Peterson again, and he goes hammering into the middle.
He lost the ball.
Fumbled the ball, and Oregon's claiming they've got it.
He was stretching for the end zone, and Trucks came away with it.
I don't think the officials have agreed with that verdict yet.
Well, Trucks ripped the ball out of his hands as he was trying to break the plane with the ball.
The ruling on the field, the runner was knocked down on bodies of players, fumbled the ball, first down.
He definitely was knocked down. He was on top of the stack, and as he reached the ball for the goal line, Dan's right, Trucks took it away from him.
That's the third fumble recovery for Trucks. This is a gift from Adrian Peterson. Too far away from the goal line to stretch out and try to break the plane. Stoops claiming he was down. The officials saw it differently.
He was rolled up on top of people.
What a big break for the Ducks. Could have been a real killer right there.
He's called timeout. Bob has.
Timeout. Oklahoma. Second team timeout.
At college football, you know, you don't have a red flag to throw and risk a timeout. You're at the mercy of the officials. While you're watching the replay of what we just saw with Peterson at the goal line, Holly Rowe was listening, and she says,
well, William Lemanier, the referee, just had a lengthy conversation with Bob Stoops and says, look, Bob, he was on top of bodies while he was stretching the ball out. So even though it looks like he was down, his knee never hit the playing surface or the field. He was laying on top of people. He had a lengthy conversation with Stoops. Stoops seemed satisfied with it, walked away, and just shook his head.
Brady Leaf at quarterback for the Ducks.
Brady Leaf is in there at quarterback. And it's an empty backfield for him. So Dixon's unable to do anything. They'll try Leaf. He throws a bad pass. James Finley intended. Thank you. Leaf throws again. This time the ball is caught by Finley, but he only gained minimal yardage out of it. 4 at the most.
This is where Oregon has really struggled tonight. They're 0 for 8 on their last 3rd down tries.
Somebody's got to run past the marker to get and provide a target for the quarterback to get the first down, and they're not doing it. This man doesn't have the mobility of Dixon. May have a better arm and more accurate arm. Pressure's coming. Just a sure shooting. Here they are. Jailhouse, and it is caught. They got past the marker, and he hit him. It's Finley coming up with a catch, and he moves the ball to the 39-yard line. Even with all that pressure coming, Leaf was able to deliver it and get the first.
Well, he had a good look at it. He saw it coming just as we did and stayed cool and delivered the best pass of the night.
Sidearms it to the sidelines. And that's incomplete. Here's Todd.
Well, Keith had a chance to talk with Kellen Clemens just a moment ago. He told me this is the most emotionally draining week of his life, not being able to play in his final game as a senior, and he said how much he wanted to play this Oklahoma team. I asked him what Dan was bringing up earlier, why Oregon hasn't gone longer, and he said quite simply, we cannot protect long enough to get that route off. He says we've got to find some way to get slants, crosses, anything to open this thing up, but right now they cannot go long because there's just not enough time. Keith?
Yeah, and they got to play Oklahoma again next September in Eugene. Low snap picked up by Leaf, throws, dropped. It was in the hands of Finley, and as he turned upfield expecting to be hit, he dropped the ball.
Just trying to do too much, trying to run with the ball before you catch the ball. But again, it's a bad snap from Inoka Lucas. That throws the timing off. That forces Leaf's eyes down to where the ball is. So that's why the ball thrown a little bit behind Finley, but still should have been caught. He had his hands backwards.
So they're looking at 3rd and long again. 3rd and 10. 17-7, the Sooners lead. Ball is thrown into the Sooner bench, incomplete. He had to loop it up over the attackers and threw it too high and too far. Now it's 4th down and 10.
Now that was Larry Burdine giving the pressure there for the Sooners from his defensive end spot. Good for Oklahoma to see him back in the lineup. Had a bad injury to his left elbow.
Here's your ball game right here.
Could be.
4th and 10. The ball is on their own 39-yard line. They don't get it. Sooners might stick it in the end zone, at least get 3. Goes the other way. Whitehead. He's going to get it. He's going to get a lot more. They finally knock him out of bounds at the 39-yard line of Oklahoma. Darian Williams saved the touchdown.
Now maybe that's what Oregon should have been doing all night, is going for it on 4th down. They're 2 out of 3 there. One was a fake punt by Matt Dragic. This is really well designed. Whitehead is number 24. It's a sprint out to the right, throwback screen all the way across the field, and he's got a pretty good convoy out in front. Lucas with the block right there, and then Whitehead getting out of bounds after picking up a huge first down for Oregon.
21 yards on 4th and 10 to keep their hopes alive. 5:45 to play in a ball game. Leaf turns and wanted to go deep. Nobody there. A lot of green grass, so he takes off and spins down to the 30, and he's right on that marker.
Well, he's close enough to where they ought to take a look at it to see if it is a first down. Appears to be about 6 inches short, though. But you notice that time he went for the first down, didn't go down, didn't turn down the contact.
So the crowd of 65,416, which is a Holiday Bowl record, beginning to wake up a little bit as the action has been revived by the Oregon Ducks in this surge. Leaf's pass is completed to Finley, And Finley is thrown down at about the 23-yard line, 22-yard line, and that's a first down.
But Holiday Bowl observers and people who have come to this game for 28 years now know that this game itself has a great history of fantastic finishes. Are we going to have another one tonight?
Caught by Williams. Tough catch by Demetrius.
Yeah, I almost looked at the way that play was first executed, that Williams might have been looking to pitch the ball back to Jonathan Stewart on the hook and ladder. You know what the key to that is, don't you?
No.
A good hook.
What goes into it? Back goes Leaf, throws. He's got a man. He's got another first down.
Yeah, he's close.
He's pretty close. Finley has suddenly become the prime target. He tried to turn his body so he could fall downfield, and the defender wouldn't let him.
Yeah, they're used to having success. You don't win 10 games with not knowing how to finish games. Oregon has all 3 of their timeouts remaining, but they got to quit wasting time. They got to stick it in the end zone soon.
It's 3rd down and 1. Thrown out to Finley. He may not get that first down. He's going to lose. That was not a good decision. Reggie Smith came up and dropped him for a loss. That was a slow developing play. It was an obvious play, and it backfired.
And they're going to have to force Oregon now is going to have to use that first time out. Great reaction, though, by Reggie Smith. You talk about the receivers, the young receivers for Stoops' team. A lot of freshmen. Well, Reggie Smith is a freshman starting at safety for Oklahoma, making a big play there.
The ball is right on the 16-yard hash mark. It is 4th down and a short 4. More like 3, actually, because the marker is just beyond.
And they're going to go for a field goal, Keith.
But now the kicking team comes trotting on the field.
Not a bad decision. This would, if it's good, would cut the lead.
It's not going to be a field goal. They got a man going to the corner of the end zone, and that gets a penalty flag.
Well, they tried all kinds of trick plays. What a brilliant call by Bellotti, because Leaf is the holder. Split Day out to the wide side, and if he wasn't interfered with, he might have caught this ball. But you know, the ball looked like it was sailed out of bounds. This might be ruled
going out of bounds. Yeah.
Be uncatchable.
Eric Bassey was the defender for
Pass
Oklahoma.
interference, 13 on the defense. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
I tell you what, that's a bad call. This ball landed 5 yards out of bounds. This was uncatchable. Look at Bassey hustle out there to find Day, but watch where this ball lands. Not even in the chalk, which is a good 3 yards wide. Oh, Oregon got away with one there.
3-yard line where it's first and goal, Oregon.
Heads-up play by Bassey, though, to prevent the touchdown. But that ball was uncatchable.
It is 1st and goal on the 3 for the Oregon Ducks. They're down by 10 points, 3:34 to play in the game. Low snap, Leaf gets it. Lost a high one into the end zone. It is touchdown. Tim Day, who hadn't caught a TD pass all year, and suddenly the big guy is involved in 2 big plays, and one of them was the touchdown.
Yeah, got it over Darian Williams. Williams goes 5'10", Day goes 6'4". 2 big plays by Tim Day back-to-back as Oregon is going to make this a finish.
To pull within 3. Paul Martinez.
Just squeezes that one in.
Whoa, just barely. 17-14. Wow.
You know, Keith, Brady Leaf had his choice of receivers on this play. Watch number 6, Demetrius Williams. as we freeze it right there. There's Finley right there. As we run this a little bit, you'll see both of them are wide open, and the only guy that's covered in the end zone by two guys is Tim Day, and who gets the touchdown? Going up high, picking up his first touchdown of the season. Happy holiday, Tim Day. But you know, you even look at Cameron Colvin, number 80, he was breaking open in the end zone with nobody around him.
Oh, here it is. He's going to kick it on the ground. Bouncing around, and it's gravy bounce. And the Sooners handle it up around the 33-yard line, and that's where they will possess it. J.D. Runnels is the man that caught the ball, and here's Todd.
Well, new life in the Oregon sidelines. You can imagine. I just talked to the referee, and I asked him, was that ball ruled uncatchable because he was interfered with it? He said exactly. They felt that he could have caught that ball had he not been bumped right there. Now, Dan, you would have been pretty tall, and I don't know how high Tim Day can jump, but you bring up a good point. He said, though, that if he would not have been interfered with, he would have made the catch.
Yeah, Superman wouldn't have made that catch.
Had the opportunity, maybe. Whatever. It's now Oregon's big problem to stop Oklahoma's offense. And a guy named Peterson just tucked it away and got 2 yards when it looked like he would lose 2.
Yeah, but he went out of bounds and stopped the clock. That's more important right now than anything. This thing right there, that 3:23.
Second down and 8 coming up for the Sooners. Kewan Jones is down in the backfield with Bomar. 2 wideouts to the top. Maybe changing his play here. Better hurry.
That's illegal motion right there.
Kewan Jones cuts back inside. I don't see any laundry.
Well, there should be, because Bomar was moving, as was Kewan Jones when the ball was snapped.
Number 31, Justin Finney.
Second team timeout.
Oregon calls the timeout to stop the clock. And no call on what you were talking about. 3:15 to play in the ball game. Now you can see the clock up there in the right-hand corner.
Well, watch Bomar moving around. Now Jones is going to move. The ball is snapped, and they're both still in motion.
It was a yawner for a while there, with Oklahoma sitting on a 10-point lead and Oregon's offense ineffective. But then all of a sudden, the worm turned.
And Bob Stoops' brother, Mike Stoops, the head coach at Arizona, knows Brady Leaf well, because Leaf had to come off the bench after Kellen Clemens was injured and Dennis Dixon was injured, and lead the Ducks to a narrow win.
Now the Sooners spread them out, sideline to sideline. On 3rd and 4, Bomar's pass is incomplete, intended for Kelly, defended by Finney. Now it is 4th and 4, and obviously the Sooners will punt.
Now Finney has 4 interceptions of his own this year. He's a senior. Did a great job of not making contact or wrapping that left arm around the body of Kelly, and got his right hand in when the ball came. This is where he's most dangerous, though. He's one of the top returners in the country, and he loves the middle return. Took one back 69 yards against Mike Stoops' Arizona team this year.
Sooners were a man short, waiting for the punting team to get organized, and now they're ready with Freebie. Last time was a shank, 30 yards. Ducks coming hard. Kick is away. It's a low one, and it's on the field of play, and it's rolling around inside the 25 and dead at the 23. So there, the Oregon Ducks will get the ball with 3 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the ball game, and they trail by 3 points.
And the big thing here is that with a lot of time and a timeout to use, they just need a field goal to tie this one up. Martinez has a 51-yarder this season. And so does Matt Evenson. He's got a 51-yarder. So either field goal kicker for Oregon can reach from distance.
First down and 10 for the Oregon Ducks from their own 22-yard line.
So Brady Leaf is in the catbird seat as far as posture, and that ball is pitched to Whitehead. He broke the hold of a couple of Oklahoma defenders and got out of trouble. Holy cow, how did he catch it? And secondly, how did he get away?
Well, he did his Adrian Peterson imitation is what he did. He got right in the hole and just backed up, kept his legs going. Here it is, Keith. Two Sooners collide, and Whitehead comes out free.
Well, he's not a gimme. He's 244 pounds. He's a big guy. Bad pass. Whoa, almost picked off.
Well, Ingram almost picked that one off and should have. The ball was thrown low. If it's not thrown low, not only does Ingram pick it off, he scores.
Right.
This would have been his 5th pick of the year, trying to hit Tim Day.
There was nobody between him and the goal line. I mean, it was clean on that side of the field.
Yeah, he scored on one against Tulsa this year.
Where's Demetrius Williams? Come to this side to Whitehead. Whitehead gets loose. He's got a first down. He's across midfield. He's still going. He's finally brought down at the 35-yard line by Eric Bassey.
And Whitehead did exactly the same thing against Fresno State earlier this year when they needed it. Same type of play. A screen pass to Whitehead. Came into the game with 46 catches behind a lot of good blocking and determination. Watch him cut back against the grain here. Picking up blockers, heading down the field vertically, and setting his team up in real close to field goal position.
Jeremiah Johnson comes into the ball game. He is the tailback. You got to get Whitehead out and let him get his breath after that play. I don't know where Stewart is. Maybe they're afraid that Stewart, who's had some fumble troubles.
Well, Johnson is a better receiver, Keith, than Stewart. Johnson runs the same type of plays as Whitehead does. That's why he's in the game right now.
On first down, they go to Johnson. He's not that big, and they handle him. He's an even 200 pounds at 5'9", and Dvorak takes him down after he picks up about a yard.
You know Dvorak's going to be playing hard in his last game as a Sooner. He missed the game last year when the Sooners played the Ducks. That was the first game of when he was kicked off the team. He's very excited to end his career with the Sooners against the Ducks, and he makes a huge play here on first down.
Second down and 9. Leaf's pass down the middle is incomplete. And Finley is yelling for interference on Williams, but gets no call. They got tangled up. The ball was thrown sharply. If he breaks away from Williams, he scores.
Watch the right hand of Williams just punch that ball out. Great timing. We just saw Justin Finney with a play just like that. When the Sooners had the ball, big play there that time by the sophomore Darren Williams.
34-yard line. It's third down and 9. A minute and a half to go. All kinds of movement along the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Palani Masoon jumped off sides.
5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Leaf's got to throw the ball. Now throws it to Jeremiah Johnson, and Johnson gets loose and gets a first down. Holy cow.
Yes, he does have to throw the ball, and he finally got around to it. And he found a freshman. You don't talk about his scrambling ability, but you talk about the fact he doesn't get rattled. Look at Latimer right in his face, keeping his wits about himself, put the ball right on Johnson. Johnson gets out of bounds, and the Ducks are still alive.
1:17 to play. Leaf runs it up into the middle.
But you know, the bad snap just took that whole play and threw it in the trash can. It's been a problem all night for Anoka. Lucas with Dusty Dvorak on his nose. The ball has come back low and just throws the timing off, especially on an option play, as that one appeared to be.
Second down and 9 from the 19.
Whitehead's back. Leafs pass intercepted by Clint Ingram, and that's your door slammer.
There's a flag down on the field, but that's for excessive celebration. And why not, Clint? Your 5th pick of the year. That just saved the game, because that was going to be a touchdown to Demetrius Williams if the ball's thrown 2 inches higher. Great job by Ingram stretching out and picking that one off.
Following the interception, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 44. That'll be half the distance to the goal. First down, Oklahoma.
Clint Ingram, one of the 4 senior captains. Great play.
You can see Williams was behind him, but the ball is thrown too flat by Leaf. What an athletic play, and I'm not so sure that this action right here is unsportsmanlike. I think that's just a kid having fun and winning a game for his coach and his team.
So the Oklahoma Sooners with the ball and only 33 ticks remaining on the clock, and Oregon with what, 1 timeout remaining?
Yep.
School's out. This baby's over. 17-14. I guess, like Yogi said, it ain't over till it's over, so let's wait till the clock runs out.
A heck of an effort by Brady Leaf, leading the Ducks down. They were within field goal range there. Field goal would have tied it, but the Sooners going crazy.
Our Capital One player of the game, well, you just saw him, number 44, Clint Ingram. 5th interception of the season. This one seems to have saved the game for the Sooners to give them their 8th win on a season, and started out with a great deal of difficulty for them. They played 12 freshmen along the way, and they all grew together. And here's the play.
Williams was behind Ingram. Ingram with great speed, recognition, athletic ability, and finished the play.
Take a knee and roll the clock. 31 seconds. Penalty flag.
And that stops the clock.
That stops the clock.
Rhett Bomar slams the ball down. That's going to be another one of those unsportsmanlike penalties.
Number 7, half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
Now you move him back half the distance. Now a knee becomes a little bit more of a problem.
Yes, it does.
Boy, I wouldn't want to get anywhere near that man right now. Just excited, that's all. He slammed that ball down because he thought the game was over and that the Sooners had won.
It's 3rd down.
He might be forced to take a safety here, and that wouldn't be all that bad a deal because they're only, well, clock has started again, and now a delay of game penalty is being called.
Offense, charge to number 7.
Not sure why the game clock started there.
3rd down.
They wound the clock and they rolled the clock once the mark-off on the penalty had been made. I'm not sure that after that kind of a penalty that the clock stays stopped, does it?
I think so.
Now taking a knee is a different critter, but that'll do it. And the game is finally over, and the Oklahoma Sooners have won the ball game by a score of 17-14. Well, it got pretty exciting in that final minutes of the fourth quarter, but Oklahoma won the ball game in the third quarter when they scored 2 touchdowns. And then Clint Ingram's interception made it stand up, and your final is a win for the Sooners. Here's Holly.
Coach Stoops, what happened there at the end?
Well, we made some foolish plays, and we go and get a personal foul and stop the clock. You know, just need to play smarter, but we did what we need to do and won.
Told you at halftime the team behind comes back to win. Your offense finally got rolling. What worked with the running game?
I'm glad you reminded me of that. But as I said coming out at halftime, we wanted to get them moving early, get them running, hopefully tire them down, and then hit them in the second half of the running game. It worked for a good part of it. I liked in the first half. We were close to making some more plays. We didn't feel we were just strong enough initially just to pound them early. We wanted to try and work them later in the game, and it worked for us.
All right, congratulations, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.
Final score, Oklahoma 17, Oregon 14, and another great Pacific Life Holiday Bowl game. Goodbye from San Diego, California.